Well, hello and welcome to Wouldn't What You Don't Need. In this video, apart from unboxing 4 Casio watches, we will discuss philosophical questions and we will also find out if the CEO of this channel, which is me, is full of it or if he is a decent fellow. The answer, in my opinion, is somewhere in between, but you will help me to decide with your comments. And in perfect YouTube fashion, I will save the best for last. So let's start with these two. Casio Vintage first. I was saying, you will decide if I have got integrity or if I don't, and why am I saying so? Because if you have been a viewer of the channel for a while, you might remember one video in which I said,
there comes a time in the life of a man, of a family man, in which he has to say no more.
No more buying stupid digital watches that he doesn't need. In fact, the name of this channel is Wouldn't What You Don't Need. And let's look here. Oh, you might say, so he said that he would not buy any more digital watches, but here he has got 4 of them. Well, see for this. It's Casio. But what can you see? Well, you can see that this is not a digital watch that I bought for me. There is nothing wrong, I think, if a guy with a small wrist like mine decides to wear one of these watches, because these are really beautiful in my opinion. But I did not buy this one for me. In fact, if you want to know the whole story, I recently went on vacation in the UK. Yes, I like going there on vacation. And there is a series of shops called Argos. And before going on holiday, I had a look at their site. And there was one specific Casio model that I wanted to buy. And it was the W86. And the W86 apparently could be found in one of these Argos shops. And how do those Argos shops work? Well, basically you choose the items that you want to buy from a monitor. It's a bit like browsing on Amazon. You just look on a monitor if you find an item that you like, and if it's available at the store, then you can buy it. Or you can order it, but I did not have this luxury. So I browsed through the watches and my daughter was just beside me watching the monitor, and the W86 from Casio was not available. But she saw this watch and she told me,
"Oh, Dad, this is beautiful."
And you know, I couldn't resist. I couldn't help myself from telling her,
Do you want to have it? Do you want me to buy it?
and of course she said yes. And then, why do I have 2? Did you notice why these 2 exactly identical watches have different boxes? Well, to this last question, the answer is, I don't know. Casio does what they want with the boxes of their watches. And to the first question, which was, why do I have 2, is because as soon as my wife saw this watch on the wrist of my daughter, she fell in love with it, to the point of telling me, when we go to the next Argos, can we please buy one for me?
And you have to know that my wife, she says, I'm quite happy with my F-91 or with my Casio calculator watch. I don't want any more watches. But she fell in love with this one.
You can see that these 2 are perfectly synchronized while I chit-chat. So this is why I have 2 of these. So up to this point, I was quite consistent with what I had said in the previous video, which is, I'm not going to buy any more useless digital watches. These are not for me. I bought this, but as a present. And then in the meantime, you can see the model, which is the LA-670WE, stainless steel back. And you can see that there are no screws here. So this is rated water resistant. It can resist to splashes, but since there are no screws here and it's just a clip-on back, I wouldn't go swimming with this one. So have a look once again at these 2 watches. A detailed review of these ones is coming up if you want to know more about them. Just wait for it. And why do I have 2 more boxes? And I'll save the best for last, as I have said. Well, because my daughter also saw this thing And my wife, who apparently has a very similar taste to my daughters, also fell in love with this one, and this is the F-91 in pink. There were many colors on the screen of the Argus shop, light blue, yellow, but only the pink one was available. And I have to tell you, I like this one. I never thought I would like the pink color. I've never been a fan of pink color, but this one looks great. It looks bigger than the regular F-91. Must be some optical illusion. This thing is beautiful, but there's one thing that I don't like about it, and it's this. The buckle is black. I don't know if it... Do you have a colored F-91? And if so, does it have a black buckle? Also, I like everything about this watch, even its color. Actually, I do like its color, but I don't like the buckle. It should be all pink. On my thin 16.5 centimeters or 6.5 inches wrist, this one maybe looks better than the F-91 in black. It looks bigger. To my eyes, the black F-91 looks tiny because I'm used to wearing G-Shock squares or bigger watches in general, even though I have a tiny wrist. So I really like this one, but it's not for me.
Actually, after my wife and daughter, after they had these as a present, but they saw that this one was really attractive and it was on sale at a very interesting price. They told me, you have to buy this one, and my son wore it for a couple of days. My son is only 4, he cannot even read numbers. But
yeah, so these 3 watches, they're not for me. So up until this point, I have been consistent with my decision of not buying any more digital watches. But, of course, here comes the point in which I demonstrate my non-integrity, because I couldn't resist and I bought this watch, which, by the way, this is the real original unboxing. All the other watches that you saw had been unboxed before, even the film that this one had on. I just found it in the box and put it back on, but yeah, these had already been worn. This one, this is the first time that I have opened the box of this one, and there's a reason why I bought this one. But it's a secret and I'm not going to tell you. Well, the reason could be because just I like this one.
I actually wanted to buy, as I told you, the W86 was not available. So I was thinking, well, why not the F-201 or the F-93? I can't remember if they had it. But then I saw this one. This one was £19.99.
It had a very low price, lower than the F-201. And this piece has 10-year battery life, 100 meters water resistance, 5 alarms, world time, as you can see, a countdown timer, which I love, and I still have to see if this has the automatic countdown timer, so when it reaches 0 it starts counting back again, which is a feature that I use a lot. So this one I bought, actually for me the price was very tempting. It was less than £20, and I would like to make a comparison with a watch that I have always wanted, but for some reason or another I have never bought, and it's the... Well, can you guess which one it is? Write it in the comments if you can guess. Very similar functions. Hint.
The world map here is something that they have in common.
This one is the AE-1000W. A very nice watch, as you might imagine. I would say lots of functions, and I will adjust it, and I will make a review of this watch pretty soon on the channel. So there are 4 reviews coming up. Well, actually there are 3 reviews coming up, because you have the F-91 in pink, you will have the AE-1000, and you will have the LA-670s that I will review. These ones, the stainless steel bracelet ones, they have a very, very cool timer function. The F-91 has a very cool color, and we will make some comparison with its black cousins. And this one has a lot of functions that I still have to discover. So having bought this watch for me means that I have not been consistent with what I had said in the previous videos. And here comes the philosophical question. I am more worried about these 3 purchases than this one, because this one only confirms that I have the illness of collecting or amassing useless items. Not that this item is useless. It is useless for me because I already own many other watches with similar functions. But these ones, they mean that my illness has been contagious, and that my wife and my daughter, they have been contaminated, and now they suffer from the same illness, maybe and hopefully to a lesser degree. But yeah, this is the philosophical question. Was it better if I remained the only one in the family with the illness, or is it better if I can actually share my passion and share some Casio related chats with my wife and daughter? And concerning this philosophical question, there is a channel that I want to give a shout out to, and it's called Dynamics Watch Review. I will put the links in the description. There are many interesting pieces, digital watches, analog watches featured, new watches and old watches, vintage digital watches, and the integrity of the owner, so to say, of the channel is an example for me. He reviews these watches in sincere and no frills video, and these are watches that most of the times he receives. Sometimes he cleans them or he fixes them, and then he gives the watches away as gifts. Well, almost all of them. So really a big shout out to Dynamics Watch Review. Check the channel out. As I told you, reviews of these watches are coming up. I thank you a lot for your subscriptions. We have reached and surpassed 500 subscribers. That's enough chit chat for today. This has been Wouldn't Watch You Don't Need, and I'll see you on the next. Ciao.